A royal baby on the way as Kate and William share a brand new photo of their kids and William gets into filmmaking.
I've always loved nature.
Up there, here.
There you go.
Brilliant.
But fatherhood has given me a new sense of purpose.
What dinner is like with the Queen, plus Harry and Meghan shut down Netflix reality rumors as Emma Corrin, who plays Princess Diana on The Crown, speaks out. Plus, what does the political future for Harry and Meghan look like? Public image consultant Jonathan Shalit helps us break it all down.
I think a lot of people thought that Meghan might make a play to be President of America one day. It doesn't surprise me that much because Meghan's American, so now she's got a voice of importance.
We've got that plus so much more in today's Royally Us. Hello to our fellow royal lovers and welcome to Royally Us. I'm Christina, that's Molly, the host of the Diva Behavior Podcast. Hi, Molly.
Hi, Christina. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm just swimming in royal details. I can't wait to get into everything.
So let's just dive right in. There's a lot to get to. Before we get to the news, of course, we have to check in with our royal viewers, our royal watchers, who, like always, have a lot to say. So let's kick it off with Jackie Lawler says, I don't understand. Am I supposed to feel bad for Harry because he can't vote in a country he's lived in for a few months? And that he couldn't vote in the UK, even though he had more privilege and influence than most people would have in 100 lifetimes. Not wrong.
I mean, yeah, today we touched on this last week when we were kind of wondering what is the purpose of bringing up this voting thing so many times, and I guess the future will tell us the answer to that.
Yeah, seriously, only time will tell. All right, next one from Sarah Hamilton. She says, they have told the whole of Britain that they left for privacy. Watch their leaving speech, but really why they left was to be celebrities in the USA. I don't know. I mean, we really don't know what their agenda is or was at the time. It's just maybe kind of unfolded into this big Netflix deal. I don't know. I mean, they did say that they wanted privacy and now that they don't have that. But they wanted privacy from tabloids, it seemed like.
Right. And also, they didn't need to leave the UK in order to be celebrities worldwide. Right. Mm-hmm. And even in the USA. Yeah, they're going to be huge no matter what they do. So this is just one of those debates that's going to keep going and going, I think.
Totally. All right, last one from Yvette. It says, Harry and Meghan are worth their weight in gold on their own, whether the royals like it or not. It's time to shine now. And it seems like that's exactly what they're doing.
Definitely. They have nothing holding them back anymore.
No, nothing whatsoever. And we're going to talk more about them getting into the political realm of everything. We're going to talk about their maybe upcoming reality show. So we're going to dive into that a little bit later. But let's talk about some royal baby news in our royal roundup. I'm so excited about this. It's finally a new royal baby on the way. Princess Eugenie and her husband, Jack Brooksbank, announced that they are expecting their first child. So very exciting. And it's pretty soon.
Yeah, early 2021 is what they said. So people are speculating that Eugenie is about 4 or 5 months along right now.
Yeah, very, very nice. Now, do we know the history of their relationship? They've been together for about 10 years and, just got married a couple years ago, but now that they are embarking on parenthood.
Yeah, they met on a ski vacation, which is just so royal. And they got married in 2019, I believe. And now they're just taking the next step. So very nice.
Very exciting. And do we know if the royals wish them congratulations at all? I know that there was some reporting around that Harry and Meghan may have wished them congratulations behind closed doors.
Yes, that is the story. The story is that Meghan and Harry wished them congratulations privately. Now, of course, Meghan and Harry announced their own pregnancy at Eugenie's wedding reception. So they are always on the same page, it seems like, with their baby announcements, I guess.
It seems like it. They did say in Finding Freedom that Eugenie and Jack weren't too happy that Meghan and Harry announced that they were expecting their baby at their wedding, which I understand. I mean, it's her day to shine, and then everybody's talking about Harry and Meghan's royal baby. I get it.
Yeah, you just never know. I mean, maybe someone asked them about it and they couldn't hold it in and then it snowballed. But yeah, I guess it seems like things are better now because apparently Harry and Eugenie have a very, very close relationship and they are like the best of friends.
Yes, and I'm sure Archie will have a little playmate come early 2021. All right, moving on. It was movie night at Kensington Palace. This is a lot of fun. Prince William was joined by Sir David Attenborough, and they enjoyed a private outdoor screening of his upcoming movie, David Attenborough, A Life in Our Planet. I love these photos. They are so cool. And William and David have quite a bit of a history together.
Yes, they have spoken publicly together quite a few times, usually about the environment. William has interviewed David Attenborough, and if there's anyone else in the UK who is practically royalty without being in the royal family, it's David Attenborough. Like, British people love him so much. It is truly, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. Like, maybe he's like the Oprah of the UK, but even more so. So I think the two of them coming together is just a force that can't be stopped.
Oh, definitely. I love in the photo that William is sitting in David's seat and David sitting in William's seat. It's just a cute little thing. And it seems like you said that they've always been talking about climate change together. They've been working together. And it seems like this is something that's really a passion for William, and that's kind of snowballing into him making his own film coming up, which is really exciting. He is making a documentary titled Prince William, A Planet for Us All. Take a look.
Now I've got George, Charlotte, now Louis in my life. Your outlook does change. You want to hand over to the next generation the wildlife in a much better condition. So 2 years ago, a film crew joined me on my search for ways to protect the natural world. It's a recognised face.
The children were very upset that we were coming to see you, and they weren't coming. They're massive fans of yours.
Kids know an awful lot about what's happening to the world.
Oh, look at that worm! Where did you find him?
I've always believed it's possible to give the young people hope. Whoa! Look at that. And belief that things can get fixed. I have belief that if we all work together, we can make a difference.
And obviously in the clip, you see David, so they definitely work together on this as well.
Yes, and David is releasing, like you said, his own environmental film. So I think the two of them, instead of sort of competing with these two films, they're coming together to boost each other's profile. And it's just such a great idea, because it's like, why compete when this is such a great cause that we can all sort of come together on.
Right. And it seems like William has been working on this for 2 years. He's really been putting in the time. This is kind of like a passion project for him.
Yeah, and the camera crew has been following him around, which we'll get to later, but sounds like a reality show.
Right, it kind of does.
I know it's a little bit of a jump, but I mean, this is not totally different from if Meghan and Harry had a camera crew documenting them as they go about their philanthropy work. So
right, no, that's very true. Yeah, because like in the clip that we just showed, you see Kate, you see William, you know, the cameras are following them around. Granted, it's not about life with their kids, it's about climate change, but still you kind of see them behind closed doors, kind of a glimpse into what their personal life is like and what his passions are, and that is climate change. And it's going to be released next month, right?
Yes, October.
Yeah, very cool. So we can kind of see William dipping his toes into filmmaking, maybe a little reality, and we're going to see a new side of William. So I'm super excited about that. Prince Charles is also letting his voice be heard. He has been talking a lot about the coronavirus in the past couple of weeks. He recently wrote an op-ed all about how the coronavirus is affecting youth, and he paid tribute to the fallen officers. Take a look.
Our officers have met this invisible threat with visible courage and commitment, providing the calm reassurance that has been so essential to our communities day and night.
Well, we have seen ever since Charles really contracted the virus, he's really been passionate about and speaking out about it.
Yeah, and I think it's really great that he is pointing out how difficult it is going to be for young people. And he's focusing on people who are ages 11 to 30. Yeah. And I think something that is really refreshing about that is the fact that a lot of the chatter around coronavirus and the way that it's spreading in both the US and the UK tends to demonize young people and accuse them of not following the rules. And there's not really any evidence that any demographic of people is following the rules better or worse. Right. So it's nice to see him sticking up for people who are really losing effectively a year of their life, of their youth, of their young lives. So that's,
it's like everything has been on pause for so long. We still don't even know how much longer this is really going to go on for, and what the long-term effects are going to be too. You know, you think of all these people that are trying to enter the workforce and things like that. And it's really hard for young people right now. It's hard for everybody, but it's nice that he's kind of shining a spotlight on the youth, which is great.
Yeah. definitely. And they are his future subjects after all. So it's a pretty savvy move as well, I would say.
So, totally. Well, last week we told you that the Crown estate took a hit from the pandemic. Well, this week we are learning that the royal family is down $45 million.
Yeah. Ooh, that, I mean, I'm down $45 million too, and no one cares. So.
Totally. Yes. Our pockets are all hurting right now, but 45 million is definitely a hard hit, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's been the lack of attendance at the castles has put a dent in that because they take in so much money from tourism in that way. And just the pandemic causing a downturn in their real estate holdings and everything, like we did talk about last week. So this is going to affect some of the refurbishments to the royal palaces, which is, you know, pretty disappointing because those royal palaces are something that the British people own. It's not really necessarily just where the royal family lives. It's also somewhere that you can visit, and it's part of sort of the national identity. So they apparently are not going to ask the British taxpayers for money, which
probably a smart move.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone would really be sympathizing too much right now. So yeah, that it seems like they're just gonna kind of keep going and just kind of try to make the cuts elsewhere, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure in a couple years they will gain all of that back, and these renovations will be well underway.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, now it is time to spill the royalty, and I know that you and I are super excited about the upcoming season of The Crown, and this is the first time in season 4 that we are going to get our first look at Princess Diana. And Emma Corrin, who plays Princess Diana in season 4, recently spoke out about playing her for the very first time, and she looks like a spitting image of Diana.
Yes, it's amazing to see how she looks with the, you know, the feathered 80s wig and everything. It is truly wild. I can't wait to see it. And Gillian Anderson looks exactly like Margaret Thatcher. It's like spooky.
It is. It's really, really spooky. And so do we know what stages of Diana's life we're going to see in season 4?
We are going to be seeing pretty much her courtship with Charles, which started when she was only about 18 years old. So
you tend to forget how young she was.
Yes, and he was in his 30s. So today that might not even have really been smiled upon by the public because of the age gap and everything. But yeah, back then that was sort of like made total sense. He dated her sister before he dated her, actually.
Oh God, yes, I think a lot of people tend to forget that as well.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if we'll see that anymore.
I don't think we'll see that either. But Emma did say to Vanity Fair, she said that we're going to see her also before she goes into the palace, when she was living with flatmates, how normal she was before necessarily being plucked from obscurity.
What's the story with how she got this role?
Well, so Emma said to Vanity Fair, this is really, really cool. Talk about right place, right time. They actually called her in to be a scene partner for somebody. So she was working lines with one of the actors, and I guess all the casting directors were like, oh my God, she looks just like Diana. Let's kind of put her into character. They did, and everybody was kind of blown away, and she got the role on the spot, which is pretty incredible.
Yeah, really lucky, because if you saw her without her hair and makeup, I don't know if you would really think that she looked that much like her. She definitely has her sort of shy die spirit, though, of the way that she seemed to be in the mid 80s when she was first coming onto the scene.
Totally. I know we've talked several times on the show about how hard it is to play this role, because a lot of pressure, a lot of women tried to do it. Some have done it well, some have failed. So we'll see in a few months how Emma kind of stacks up.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably pretty stressed right now, but I guess, I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait. So excited. Well, one Netflix show that is probably not happening is Harry and Meghan's reality TV show, because it seems like they put the kibosh on that one.
Yeah, so their spokesman said that there is not going to be a reality program being planned. And they reiterated that there are only 2 projects currently in development, a nature docuseries and an animation series. But I think what we need to remember is a reality show can take many forms, and I wouldn't be surprised if eventually they do have a docuseries, and if it's really more so the framing of it as a reality program that they're taking issue with, rather than the idea that they would be on screen themselves. I don't know. What do you think?
I totally agree with you. I mean, it's not like that we're going to see like a Keeping Up with the Kardashians with Harry and Meghan, like them just sitting around their kitchen eating salads all day. Like, that's not what we're going to see. Like, we're going to see them, like you said, like maybe doing something with their charity work, and who knows, maybe they're traveling and things like that. I think that, like you said, even with William, it's going to kind of maybe take that form of a docuseries type of reality show, and them kind of working with people and letting cameras in that way. I don't think we're going to get a straight on reality TV show.
Right. And people are sort of forgetting that the royals dabble in TV a lot. In The Crown this past season, we all saw that reality show, that very ill-fated early sojourn into reality that the royal family did in 1969 that sort of went over like a lead balloon. And a lot of people don't realize that in the 1980s, Prince Edward produced and organized a show called It's a Royal Knockout, and he had all of his siblings doing like obstacle courses and just really silly sort of like 80s daytime TV stuff. And they all did that, and it was sort of critically panned. But it's, again, this wouldn't be brand new. Like we mentioned before, William is going to seemingly be on screen a lot in his recent in his upcoming documentary, which had camera crews following him. So I think it's just a question of how do you define a reality show?
Exactly. I totally agree with you, and I can't wait to see what happens.
I know. Right, well, I think they're going to do it. I think
they're going to do it too. I think so too. Well, last week we told you last week we showed you that Meghan and Harry made an appearance talking all about the importance of voting in the upcoming election. So now we are getting word on what the palace thinks about all of this. And it seems like they are just kind of washing their hands of it.
Yeah, I was really surprised that they even weighed in on this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they must have gotten a ton of media inquiries. They're like, well, what's going on here? And they're like, all right, let's just put this to bed.
Yeah, they said they wouldn't comment, but then they added, the Duke is not a working member of the royal family, and any comments he makes are made in a personal capacity. And I think that's all well and good, but the critics of this recent move they've been making into voter awareness and everything would say, well, then why is he being referred to as a Duke? And why is he using his title? So I think that if Meghan and Harry do continue to do this, they're going to see more and more pushback against, them using their titles.
Right.
But
do you think that when this 1 year grace period is over, do you think that they're going to drop the Duke and Duchess?
I was thinking they might have to. What do you think?
I think because I don't feel like they're not going back. Obviously, they have made their roots in California. They have this Netflix deal. They are getting into politics a little bit. I think that they have realized, where they stand and what they want to do with the rest of their lives. And I don't think that has anything to do with the royal family anymore.
Yeah, the cat is absolutely out of the bag. I mean, if they wanted to go back, I don't know if they could, because, let's say if Donald Trump wins again and goes on a state visit to the UK next year and if Harry tried to get back into the royal family to his normal senior working capacity after his 1 year period, how awkward would that be? That's not, the royal family, they have to be politically neutral. And this is, people would argue that this was not politically neutral. So I think it's a pretty decisive step on the part of Harry and Meghan.
Right. And I know that there were some reports going around saying that this actually violated part of their Megxit deal. I don't know if that's true. I don't know. We don't know the ins and outs of what was agreed to when they decided to step back. But, the royals really have not spoken out about their political stances in the past. So maybe this was kind of, I don't know. Maybe it was kind of something that they weren't supposed to be doing.
Right. But also, it was only political if you really read between the lines and assumed that they were talking about a certain politician being the one that's divisive and another one not being that way. So they didn't really come out and endorse anyone. So I'm sure they would argue we didn't do anything political. We just made a blanket statement that everybody should vote. So
that is true. That is very true. Yes, a lot of people do read in between the lines, and I'm sure they will after President Trump weighed in on Harry and Meghan recently. He weighed in on their political stance and had some choice words for Meghan. Take a look.
I'm not a fan of hers. And I would say this, and she probably has heard that, but I wish a lot of luck to Harry, because he's going to need it.
You know, I can't say I'm surprised that he weighed in on this, but
I mean, he has nothing else going on right now. There's no other bigger problems to solve, no other fish to fry. This is definitely a great use of his time and everyone's attention spans, for sure.
Well, kudos to that reporter for asking the question, because definitely made a headline.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Meghan has talked about Trump in the past, and she has made it known that she is not his biggest fan.
Right. She called him in 2016 misogynistic, and she said she would stay in Canada if he was elected. And of course, she actually did him one better. She moved to the UK.
Yes, that's
and
true.
then Canada.
And then Canada. So yeah. We'll see if they go back and forth any more times before the election. But we'll see.
I mean, if anything, this only helps her, because it shows that her opinion is important enough to merit a response from the President of the United States. So it's definitely helping to boost Meghan's profile even more.
Okay, let's break down the royal rules, and to help us do that is Professor Jonathan Shalit. He is the public image consultant, and he's going to talk to us all about what the political future looks like for Harry and Meghan and what that big Netflix deal looks like. Have Meghan and Harry's recent voter registration efforts surprised you, and did you expect this move when they came to the US?
I think a lot of people thought that Meghan might make a play to be President of America one day. It doesn't surprise me that much, because Meghan's American. So now she's got a voice of importance. It makes sense that she's going to try and use that voice. So as a young, intelligent woman, I would expect her to make her views clear, which she's clearly doing.
Right. So as a public image consultant, what are your thoughts on entertainers making the move to the political sphere?
Well, I mean, my actual role is I'm one of the UK's top manager agents of talent. In the UK, when talent and well-known people, as in celebrities and stars, support politics in the UK, I think it's very different to America. And what I mean by that is, in America, people proudly wear the party they support on the sleeve, whether it be Republicans or Democrats. Whereas in the UK, people tend to keep their political affiliations much more private. So a lot of people in the UK, you don't know what they vote for, even your close friends, because it's considered, they always say at dinner parties, it's rude to discuss sex and politics. So a lot of times people don't discuss politics. So it's a different attitude to political affiliations. Of course, Prince Harry can't vote in the UK because the royal family don't have access to voting.
But do you really think that Meghan is vying for a political role in the future? Like, do you really think that it could be Meghan Markle, President of the United States?
You're too young to remember Ronald Reagan. He was a B-list actor.
Right, no, you're right. Yep.
He became President of America. And I think what's very clear, I mean, I have met Meghan a couple of times, and I knew her mother-in-law, Princess Diana, reasonably well, because Princess Diana was the patron of one of my charities. And one thing I did notice a couple of times I've met Meghan is that men tend to often go, they say, for a lady who has qualities their mother had. And Princess Diana had the most amazing, angelic, Mother Teresa, saintly qualities. And she had a massive power on people to inspire them, to encourage them, to give them empathy and sympathy when they need support. And the way Meghan Markle or Meghan, or the Duchess or Countess is able to communicate is she has magic with people. She has a huge ability to connect with people and when they need help. But I certainly think if you're looking at someone who knows how to light up a screen and has the ability to connect with millions of people, Meghan certainly has that.
And obviously they have this huge Netflix mega deal that they just signed and just announced. I mean, as a public image consultant, as somebody that manages talent, is this the right move for them?
I think on balance it is the right move, and the reason I say that is they need to make a lot of money because the costs of running their lives are immense, and the only way they could get the money if it wasn't for Netflix would be from Prince Harry's father, and no one likes to rely on their father to pay all their bills. And the great thing about Netflix, and I work closely with Netflix, is they're like a book publisher. they publish any kind of television programming that's available to them, and they want a portfolio of programs with a whole varying degree of propositions. So they've got the Obamas, they've got Hollywood movies, they've got great comedies, they've got great crime dramas, and they've got Harry and Meghan. So I think it's a win-win for both, because Netflix get these incredibly important, well-known people globally on their platform, and Harry and Meghan get a very powerful broadcast partner who can take whatever they want to make to the world.
You said that, you said that Harry and Meghan aren't very well liked over in London. And do you think that they're going to use this new platform to kind of sway people's opinion about them? Or do you think that they don't care about that and they just want to kind of put out the content that they want to create?
Well, I certainly think they probably care that the public perception in the UK is not as positive as it could be on them. And clearly, if anybody, Harry would like to be loved in the UK, I'm sure, because it's his family, and he's a British royal. Equally, I think the dislike of them in the UK is driven by the media. And the problem they've now got, and they won't see it this way, is they've gone to Hollywood. All the people they're surrounded by only make money if they're problems. So the lawyers, the PR people are being paid lots of money to deal with problems. They're not going to turn around to Harry and Meghan and say, don't sue, because that means millions of dollars they're not getting. The PR companies aren't going to say, don't react, because the PR company won't get paid. So Harry and Meghan are now trapped and surrounded by people who've got a vested interest to keep the flames burning. And then the Hollywood agents are going to get a percentage of the money they get. So whatever things they do, people only get paid a lot of money if they sign the deals. So they're surrounded by people who will be pretending to have their best interests at heart, and they will think these wonderful Hollywood friends they've got, these wonderful Hollywood advisors they've got, are doing what's best for them. But the truth is, they're doing what's best for the bank accounts of their own companies. They're not thinking about what's best for Harry and Meghan.
As a talent manager and someone who's used to working with very high-profile clients, what would your advice be to someone who is in Meghan and Harry's position right now?
Choose your friends carefully, choose your confidants carefully, which of course is a challenge because you need friends, you need confidants. So it's very difficult to know who you can trust. Look at people who aren't driven by money and benefit from their association with you financially, because clearly those people are driven by the money you pay them as opposed to what's best for you. I think the power of saying no is more powerful than saying yes. And I think stick to subjects that relate to making the world a better place. But to be fair to them, I think they are. I think a lot of people are saying what they're planning to do when they actually haven't said it themselves.
Mm-hmm. That's very true. Very, very true. Well, Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time and speaking with us today. We really appreciate it. Definitely some great insight from Jonathan there.
Yeah, really interesting. And I think it's just going to be so great to watch this next chapter unfold and everything.
It really, really is. All right, moving on to our royal history moment of the week. There's a brand new book coming out all about the rules of living like Queen Elizabeth. And we are getting some fun information on some interesting things that go on behind the palace doors, including what dinner is like with the Queen.
Yes, apparently she's not a big foodie. She looks at food as fuel, which can't relate.
Can't relate to that at all. I know a couple weeks back we talked to former royal chef Darren McGrady, and he said that she likes chocolate, she likes meat, but it's very plain, and she knows exactly what she wants, and pretty much every single day is almost a routine.
Very British.
Very British. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I loved this part, though, that if you were at a state dinner with the Queen, that there is someone there to make sure that they know exactly when the meal is ready to wrap up.
Right. There's someone who hits a button or rings a bell whenever the Queen is done with her course. And if the Queen is done before you, then you got to say bye to your plate because they're taking it away. Everybody has to be done when the Queen is done. Don't
get caught up in conversation and forget to eat your meal, because when she is done, wrap it up.
Yeah.
I wonder if they give like doggy bags at the palace so everybody can take their food home if they don't finish.
Oh, they must. Or they give it to the corgis, probably.
I'm sure that's it. All right. Well, before we wrap up, we have to check in on our pint-sized palace, our royal kiddos, and we actually got some great new photos of the royal family, which we absolutely love.
Yeah, they are very sweet pictures. Louis is wearing a little hand-me-down sweater that George once wore before, which we love to see. Kate is so thrifty with all their clothes and everything.
Yes, I love the all denim look, really.
Yeah, really nice and coordinated, good fall fashion that we're always clamoring for from Kate.
Yeah, and this was, of course, they all the kids met with David Attenborough when he was at Kensington Palace, and I know that he gifted George something pretty special.
Yes, it was a shark tooth, but it was from a megalodon. So this is an extinct species of shark that could grow to 16 meters or 52 feet long. So it's a huge shark tooth. He found it in Malta, but there is sort of a plot twist.
Right? Malta wants it back.
Yeah. So Malta is a former British colony, and if you know much about art history and natural history, the British Empire didn't have the best track record when it came to taking artifacts from its colonies and giving them to the British elite to display in museums or in their homes. So this was sort of not the best look, I guess, from a historical perspective. It just seemed so cute and nice at first. It's like, oh my God, a shark tooth, that's so nice. And it kind of backfired.
It did kind of backfire. I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if he's going to have to give it back.
I know. Who knew it would spark a national incident? And then I was thinking, if you're, I guess David Attenborough sort of should have claimed that on his customs form.
Right. Yeah. I can't imagine bringing that into your suitcase.
Yeah. When it's like, do you have any food or whatever from the country that you're coming from? I guess he should have put megalodon tooth.
Right.
And
yeah.
Returned it all the way back whenever he found it. But
yeah, I think he found it back in the 60s. So he's been hanging on to this for quite some time. So poor George might have to give that one back.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Molly, thank you so much for breaking down all things royals.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Of course. We'll make sure to watch Royally Us every Wednesday at 10:30 on Us Weekly's YouTube channel. Keep commenting, keep subscribing, and Molly and I will see you next week.